We begin today's epic video with the fact that it's not quite as hot today and we're taking a trip to Lowe's to buy important things, important useful things to install, to make things look nicer, more functional. We have goals today and we're going to accomplish them. I'm glad you're here with us. Thanks. Thanks for joining us here on Paul's Hardware. Let's go into Lowe's and buy some Excellent! Today's video is brought to you by the Corsair K70 RGB Pro mechanical gaming keyboard powered by Axon processing technology and genuine Cherry MX mechanical switches. This board packs its aluminum frame with features like dynamic per key RGB lighting, a detachable USB Type-C cable, durable PBT double shot keycaps, and IQ software support on both PC and Mac OS. You also get dedicated media keys, a multifunction volume roller, onboard storage for up to 50 profiles, and more. So for further details on the Corsair K70 RGB Pro, click the sponsor link in the video description. What happened?
Yeah, I'm always on my phone, apparently.
So what the heck are we doing? Joe just warned me to watch out for splinters.
Yeah,
and then,
see, watch out, see? They're right there.
See? Always got to be careful. All right, guys, so what the heck are we even doing here? We came here specifically for this piece of material right here. It is like a corrugated plastic and it's 4 foot by 8 foot, so about the same size as a piece of plywood, basically. And I'm going to use it as backing for some acoustic foam panels, hopefully also going to put some like RGB backlighting behind it as well. This is all like completely something I've conceptualized in the past day or two, so I'm really hoping it works. We're getting some pieces of wood, just a little 1 inch by 3 inch pieces here to use to provide some additional support on the back and also to space it out from the wall, and I'm hoping to also do some RGB LEDs around the edge. All right, so we got wood, of course, that's very important when we go to the hardware store. Got our big sheet there. We've got some wall panel covers. Some people were complaining about painting over those, which I only did for one. Extra paint can, black spray paint, some spray adhesive for those foam panels, and I needed some new chairs, so got these new chairs too. They look real nice. So after that epic trip to Lowe's, we actually went back to my house to drop stuff off because we realized assembling that foam panel back piece thing, we're probably going to need to do a decent amount of that at my house so that we can do spray paint and spray adhesive and have that be outside rather than here in the office. So work will continue on that. Last night I got a bunch of stuff done here though, a bunch of little things like little hooks to hang up wires and stuff, but the main thing was getting the racks assembled for the storage area out here because I need to start transferring stuff from my garage over here so that hopefully I can continue work on the garage because there's a lot to be done over there. But for now, we have taken our first load of actual tech gear, which is just being unloaded, put on the shelves. Joe just happens to be out here doing that as I happened to be filming this clip. I didn't ask him to be out here doing that as I happened to come out. This wasn't staged at all. Anyway, point is, look at all, graphics cards, motherboards and stuff going on the shelves. Gonna add, I think, probably 3 more shelves here. Gonna buy 2 more, and then I've got 1 in the garage we'll transplant. And at that point, we'll figure out exactly where things go. Like, cases obviously gonna go down there. I measured the Fractal Focus G case to make sure, at least for standard size ATX cases, we can fit some boxes down there. Probably get some bins for this lower shelf there. And then we'll have it, organized. So like GPUs will be in one spot, motherboards somewhere else, and there should be lots more space here than I had in the garage. All right. First load of stuff is on the racks. It's looking pretty bare right now, but trust me, I'll fill these up. All right, here's something I'll be honest, I'm pretty excited about. I've been ordering just a bunch of random stuff. It's not all random, it's planned to some degree, but much of it has arrived and I have many boxes to open. So we're gonna do a quick multi-unboxing here to see what useful things are here that weren't here before. This one is a little compressed, and that is because it's acoustic foam panels. Look how they shrink wrap these now so that they ship smaller and stuff. This, meanwhile, is to prove the haters wrong. I was showing you guys how I was mounting my LED lights up above, and I was like, I better get a chain or something in there for safety, because safety first and everything. And people were like, I bet he's never gonna put a chain on it. Well, guess what these are? These are actually little safety cables with little carabiner locks. So for anything that I'm overhead mounting, especially if I'm mounting it to the drop ceiling stuff, which is somewhat stable and secure, but not the most stable and secure thing, I will be securing it with this so that in the worst case scenario, I guess the whole ceiling would have to fall down to cause some actual damage. But surely that will never happen. We're actually gonna mount these to that plastic thing that I bought at Lowe's back at my house. So it would make sense to keep this as is to bring it back home, but I want to do some actual real world measuring of the wall to see how long and how large we should actually make this. So I'm just going to open it now. Let's see how much this expands. I believe this is 48 of these acoustic foam panels. And I thought it was going to be a much larger package than this. Now these just have to expand, I guess. These obviously need to take a little bit of time to sort of get back to their former selves, but I went with a slightly different pattern this time around. They're square, but they're supposed to be kind of beveled at the edges. They at least looked pretty cool in the product images, so hopefully once these re-inflate, they'll look cool the way I want to use them as well. Next, I have two products which you probably are already aware of, at least if you watched my last video, hopefully. As long as this works. I don't even know if it did at this point, but you guys hopefully did if you saw that video. Anyway, I was building a pfSense router. I realized there's a couple key hardware pieces I was missing, and they are now here. This is an Intel-based NIC with an Intel chip. It's got an Intel 82576 controller for the NIC, basically, and it's got two Ethernet ports. So this was a missing component from the pfSense router build that I did just a few days ago, and now it's here to be installed. I hope it works. The other thing missing from my pfSense router build was Wi-Fi access. And while there are options that you can do directly, getting a Wi-Fi access point is the simplest way. Or using an old router and you can just set it up in access point mode would also have been a good thing. And you'd think that I would have had like old routers lying around at home. For some reason I don't. I've handed them all down to other people to use, and so that's why I got this access point. But this is mainly going to be for Internet of Things devices and stuff like that to connect stuff like the RGB LED controllers and whatnot. So this was $27 for an access point, which the price was right. Oh, look at this. These are my RGB LEDs, and I went down a freaking rabbit hole figuring out the RGB LED situation, and let me give you the short answer of what I decided to go with. The very cheapest option. These are just RGB 50/50 light sets. I think they're 50 foot or maybe 100 foot. And basically it's got the little controller. It comes with an AC adapter. It comes with two 50-foot strands of RGB LED lights. And these are like $12 or $13 each, as opposed to a similar configuration if I went with like Philips Hue is like $170 to $200-ish, or even the sort of the in-between ones that are slightly more well-known brands are often $50 to $60. So just to be clear, it's entirely possible that this won't work. I'm hoping IFTTT compatibility will allow me to connect this up to actually operate it through the Elgato and everything. There's a whole complicated bit of setup that goes along with that. But at least I got the lights and we can test things out. And worst case scenario, I can just use them in dumb mode and that's just fine. To go along with the LEDs, I got these little connectors. These are just solder-free connectors so you don't have to bust out the soldering iron when you're connecting up LED strips that you've cut short, or specifically there's right angle ones in here, so I can use those for the corners of the RGB LED foam panel back wall that I'm building, which is, I'm sure, going to be perfect and awesome and the best thing ever. One more box here and then we're going to start building. I'm at least going to put a shelf together so we can start working on that background area. And I think this has some exciting stuff in it too, like a hot glue gun. I got the Gorilla Glue hot glue gun, and honestly it was kind of a spur of the moment decision. Did I get ripped off because it's Gorilla Glue, or does Gorilla Glue mean it's actually good quality and going to be reasonably good? I don't know. I don't know what sort of quality, how much money should you really be investing in a glue gun? All I know is this has two temperatures, so you can do really hot glue or you can do kind of hot glue, and that seems reasonable to me. What else? This is a tape measure. I had two really crappy tape measures. One of them broke finally completely, so it's like I need a reasonable tape measure. I have no idea if this is a really good one or not. But it's 25 feet or 7.5 meters, and it has some cool features like a magnet on the end of that thing, and like a button that actually works when you push it down to do that, so that's pretty cool. I don't know, this seems like a reasonable tape measure to me so far. So we've decided to kind of focus on, getting the back area, the background, the set, I guess, set up over here. And a few people have mentioned, the wall back here is looking pretty bare. People were also complaining about the fact that I painted over this wall cover right there. And I'm sorry, I apologize for that. Most of the time I would take those off. It was a spur of the moment decision and I'll never do it again. But besides, There's going to be a shelf right here, a bookshelf actually, and this arrived. It's from Wayfair. I'll try to link stuff in the description, by the way, guys, if you're interested in any of the gear that I'm installing here that I've spontaneously purchased, mostly online. This box came fairly beat up. It's not in the best shape. Some of the components were actually falling out, so I put them in a baggie and taped them to the top of it. So Wayfair, I wasn't impressed with that, but hopefully the actual bookshelf inside is not in too horrible shape. Why are these just loose in here? Why is all the, oh, can you see in there?
Oh man.
That's where all the hardware went. So these are like a take on IKEA. IKEA has made stuff like this for quite some time. It's like Wayfair figured out a way to make it even more cheap, and with less material. After getting rid of a ridiculous amount of styrofoam bits that were all over these things, we took each piece, wiped it off, and you know, it's not ideal. There's like little bits here and there that kind of got stuck in between the boards during shipping since the package got kind of loose in there. So a lot of these little specks aren't like permanent. They can be scraped off, but you got to kind of wipe or scrape each one off. And there are some spots that, at least in terms of the edge and stuff, it's like almost borderline for me where I'm like, should I return this or something? But for anyone who noticed in tech news, the table wobbling a lot, this is the table that I went and picked up at IKEA. That's because it's just set on top of a folding table right now, and that's supposed to have a sit-stand frame underneath it. But that said, since this is my main set and I really want to get it up and looking nice and everything, I don't want to delay any further. So I think I'm going to go with this as is. It's not in horrible shape. There's a few little dings and scratches along some of the edges of the finish, but there's no like major chunks out of it or anything that's a showstopper for me. So let's get this put together. And there it is, our Wayfair bookshelf positioned right here. It's actually a little bit narrower. I thought it was going to be a little bit wider than it is. I will say I like the finish. I think the walnut blends, it's not exactly the same finish as on the walnut countertop over there, but it blends in well enough, so it's a nice darker wood finish. It actually has the hardware that is kind of visible in a lot of these, so we were trying to face those to the right side, at least for these single ones here. You can sort of choose which side the hardware will face on. And then of course we still need to take off all these numbering stickers. They were helpful for figuring out how to assemble the thing, but there's quite a few of them. Do they peel off easily, Wayfair? Wayfair, did you use cheap adhesive on all these stickers? Alright, well it's not the worst, but you gotta peel pretty slow if you don't want to leave any residue behind. Anyway though, still need to wall anchor this because it's very tall and doesn't stand up by itself very well. And now I'm sort of trying to figure out, should I get another one of these and put it on the other side to have like sort of matching ones on either side of this area? I don't know, that could be cool. But you know what, I don't have to decide for right now because we're done for today, but we got more to do tomorrow, so let's see what happens then. So a bit of time has passed and I'm trying to keep the clutter in the office here under control, but I did shoot tech news, the second tech news that I've shot here in the office. I moved the bookshelf over to the left side just so there's something in the background to provide a little bit of depth against that wall. It is intended to be over here, which is why you can still see like the stickers. The stickers I still need to take off, I've left those on there because who's got time to take the stickers off. But also you can see like a lot of the mounting screw holes and stuff like that. Intentionally put as many of those as we could on this side so they'll be hidden a little bit more when it's over in that corner. And I've decided that the acoustic panel I'm building here, the RGB backlit acoustic panel, deserves its own video, so stay tuned for a follow-up on that. But I do want to get at least my desk set up here, set up as much as I possibly can, and there is one key thing that's kind of missing, or I guess one key thing that just sort of has a functional stand-in right now, but that definitely could be upgraded, so let's handle that. But one other thing really quick. Remember these? That is not all the wall plates, but it's a lot of them, and I think that looks a lot better than this looked. Yeah. Moving on, when we first started moving in a couple weeks ago, I grabbed a couple quick chairs from IKEA, just folding chairs, because I knew we needed something to sit on, but that wasn't going to be permanent. But I also got in touch with Corsair, and I was like, hey Corsair, I've got an office that I'm moving into, and maybe could use some stuff. And they're like, awesome, perfect timing. We have new chairs. They're called TC200. They're available in a fabric finish, which is what we're going with today. They also have a faux leather finish that they're available in too. I went with 2 fabric options. Fabric's a little bit more breathable, so we have the white version here that looks like that, and we have the black version here that looks like that. But let's give you guys a better look at these by putting them together. All right, so I got both of these chairs assembled. The black one here was pretty much the same assembly as the white one. So let's give a quick little, not a review, but like first impressions. And I'd say first impressions are pretty good. The build quality seems solid, and I do like the quality of the fabric finish on the, well, on both of these, I suppose. I got the embroidered Corsair logo there up the top. And both of them come with a very squishy, very soft memory foam pillow that has a strap on the back, so you can strap it on for a headrest if you want to. In terms of features, there's not too many surprises. This little lever here leans the seat back, and you've got your standard adjustment arm down here. The casters are pretty solid. They give a little detent as they roll along, but when you're actually sitting in the chair and rolling around, at least on this pretty low pow carpet, they roll around pretty easily. There are some nice little attention to detail elements, like they include felt washers for here at the bottom, and that is so you don't get that annoying creaky rocking motion as the chair base and the chair itself eventually start to wiggle over time. I appreciate that the armrests are not fabric. They're pretty rugged rubber material that does have a little bit of squish, a little bit of give to it. And they are quite adjustable too, with a lever here to raise them up or down. This button here that lets you shift them side to side a little bit that way. And this button here that lets you shift them forward or backwards, as well as the ability to tilt inwards or outwards, depending on your preference. And as for sitting down in them, well, they are quite comfortable so far. Again, I haven't had the chance to test these for months at a time or anything like that. I'm sure I'll be getting some feedback from Joe as well, as he has a chance to sit in his. I think I'm gonna give him the black one, because I think this gray one matches quite nicely with the wall color that we've chosen in here. So I think this one is gonna go behind the desk over there. So there's Joe's over in the Joe editing area. Obviously lots still to be done on this setup, although we do have the sit-stand desk frame here at least, though we're missing that out in the main desk. And yeah, like I said, I covered some of the wall plates, but not all of them. And I will sit in mine over here by my desk, and now it seems like a good time to relax because lots was gotten done in this video, but there's still lots more to come, including hopefully the completion of that acoustic RGB panel that I'm really hoping is going to turn out really nicely. Very excited about it so far. But guys, thank you for joining me as I get my office set up and outfitted the way I want it to be. Lots of work still to be done, so if you enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up button on your way out. You can also check out my store at paulshardware.net for shirts, mugs, pint glasses, and all other manner of high quality merchandise. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe on your way out as well. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.